Welcome to the J Files. I'm your host, Jaden Cornelious. For thousands and thousands of years, stories of the supernatural, of the spirit realm, of shapeshifting, of extraterrestrials, of ghosts, of haunted places, and of communication with the dead, us humans have found completely fascinating. Most people, whether believers or skeptics, find the experiences of the things that go bump in the night completely and utterly captivating. But the age-old question lies whether the alleged paranormal event that witnesses have claimed to experience are real. Now, I don't doubt that many people believe what they had experienced is a paranormal event. Really is what you believe to be real, right? I hope you enjoy this show. Please subscribe, please share, and please comment. And if you have had a paranormal experience and you wish to be on the show, please get in touch. Enjoy the show.
Hi, I'm Jackie Wynne. I live in Glastonbury in Somerset in the UK, and I've had several paranormal experiences, and I'm going to tell you about a couple of them now. So back in 2010, I had the privilege of becoming a pagan prison chaplain, teaching paganism in UK prisons. And the first prison I worked in was a prison called HMP, Her Majesty's Prison, Shepton Mallet. And Shepton Mallet Prison had the notoriety of being the oldest serving prison in the country. Up to 2010, it had been a prison for about 400 years. It closed down in 2013, sadly. And it was a small prison, only 189 men, all serving life. And I was a new pagan chaplain, and we were celebrating Halloween there. Or in the pagan calendar, we call that Samhain. And Samhain is the festival of the dead, 31st of October to the 1st of November. And it's the festival of the dead where our ancestors are honoured. And the small group of prisoners that I had, 8 or 9 of us, had gathered that afternoon. And like any ghost story, it was raining, it was wet, it was blowing a gale outside, very atmospheric. And we were inside our room up in the chaplaincy department by ourselves. And we were having what we call a dumb supper. A dumb supper is food that is served and eaten in silence whilst we're giving thanks to our ancestors and those loved ones who have left this world and have travelled on to the next. And as we were sitting in silence, the temperature dropped. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so it wasn't nighttime. And I felt my skin really prickle, and I looked up. Now, I've had many paranormal experiences, but very few have I actually seen an apparition. And this was the first time. And all I saw was the head and kind of top chest of a black American soldier, because the Americans were using Shepton Mallet during the war as a base. And he just stood there. I couldn't see from the chest down, but he just stood there shaking his head and looking directly at me. And as I saw this, I jumped, and there was a prisoner called Tony who also seemed to see something in the corner. And he looked at me and went to say something, and I said, shh. We got on with the dumb supper and we ate, and very quickly it felt like that energy, that spirit was there for a long time. It was probably there only for a matter of seconds, and it faded. After the supper, I looked at Tony and I said to him, right, what did you see? And he said to me, I saw the outline of a black guy in an American Second World War uniform. Exactly what I'd seen, shaking his head. So I was intrigued about this. So I did a bit of digging in the archives and talked to a lot of the prison officers. And he said the prison officers knew this guy and said that there had been a couple of military executions at the prison, along which were 2 black American GIs. And one of them is said to haunt the prison to this day as a poltergeist that plays tricks and all the rest of it on people. The feeling that I got from this guy, he was shaking his head, and the feeling that I got was, I didn't do it, I didn't do it, I didn't do it. And there was a black GI that was shot for the apparent rape of a local white woman in the town. and he was really feeling. I felt I felt that the confusion and that anger come off him, and that was really sad. But that was something that I'll never forget. And then similarly, I was as an adult was studying a history degree with the Open University in the UK, and that's mostly home study. And every 6 weeks we would go to a different town just to meet up with other university students and have a lecture on whatever theme it was. And I was driving from Glastonbury to Taunton along some very windy country roads in the middle of nowhere. The Somerset levels are quite a place to behold, particularly in the winter months. Very flat. There's been battles there, Battle of Sedgemoor. There's been all kinds of things that happened over the centuries on the Somerset levels. Infamous. And I had an old car, and the doors never locked. So it was old. No one was going to steal it because it was an old, an old beast of a car. So I'd been to a lecture, and I was driving back across the levels. And again, it was winter, very cold nights, very still night, hardly any moon. And I was in the middle of the levels, in the middle of nowhere, and I glanced into my rearview mirror, and sat in the back of the car was a solid person, literally. And I thought, oh shit, somebody's got into the car because the doors don't lock, and I'm done for. And I turned my head very quickly, mindful of where I was driving, and there was no one there. And I looked in the mirror, and there was a solid person again in the car. And I say he because it felt male. I could very clearly see a leather, like motorcycle jacket with the padding on the shoulder and what looked like long hair and part of a beard. But every time I turned round, he wasn't there. The car was absolutely freezing, even though I had the heating on. And so I practiced paganism and witchcraft. So I did what any good witch would do. And I just said out loud, I don't know who you are. I really don't need you in my car right now. You're freaking me out. I'm in the middle of nowhere. This isn't safe. Please, can you go? And I looked in the rearview mirror again, and the presence had gone. So I got home quite shaken. I made a charm for the car because I had to go up and down that road quite a lot at that time to hang in the car, just so that I wouldn't hopefully have any more of this apparition. And did a bit of research again, and along that stretch of road there had been, over the years, 2 or 3 motorcycle accidents which had been fatal. Did I pick up the spirit of one of those motorcyclists? I don't know, but the experience was very real indeed. So that's just a couple of the paranormal experiences I've had, and really happy to share them with you. Thank you.